All right, guys. Good. I can see myself, so I guess you can see me. Listen, if you can't hear me, I mean, I hope you can see me and I hope you can hear me. But if one of those two is not working, please go to the Facebook group and drop me a comment. If you can, if at least one person can hear me, that's fantastic. I will just keep going. But if there is anyone who has any issue, please let me know. Just a quick second. Oh, awesome. Thank you for a comment. Good. Getting some messages. So fantastic. All right, we're gonna start in 2 minutes. I think we're waiting still for a few people. In general, guys, I will try to get this under an hour if possible. It will be challenging, but it's doable. So I'm gonna try to do my best. I hope you all received your welcome packs with all the files. If you haven't, if you just joined the stream or joined the bootcamp and you don't have the packs which I'm presenting, don't worry, I will send them to you. At least you're gonna watch this video and have a rough insight of what's going to happen. Okie dokie. Oh, and if you're gonna have any questions for later or something wasn't clear enough, please drop the questions in under the post on Facebook group. I saw already one question, which is fantastic. I'll answer on them later on. Good stuff. Okay. Yes, it's all working. Perfect. All right, guys. So I hope this is recording. I pressed the record button. So fingers crossed it is. If not, I'll just do this again for anybody who missed it. So you can always get a little recap. Anyway, let's get started. Welcome everyone to our 6-week bootcamp. It's I think the 8th bootcamp that we're doing since I did it for the first time. Each time we were making it a little bit better. And I hope this one will be also better than the previous one. Good. If you haven't had a chance to check the pack, don't worry. Like I said, as long as you follow this video, everything should be clear enough. So I'm going for the file, which is called the diet plans or the F structure. So this is the manual for females. But if Adam or Darren's here or any other male, don't worry. The plan looks exactly the same, but you got slightly different food amounts. So you don't have to get worried or scared. Okay, so let's quickly go. So what is expected, guys, from you to achieve the best results on this plan? Of course, I want you to follow from A to Z, whatever is that possible, but based on this structure, as you can see, I don't like really to call this a diet plan. It's more an eating structure that you're going to follow, as it's really flexible to what foods you want to eat. So there's obviously a few simple rules which you have to unfortunately try to stick as close as possible. And here are the most of them. So we got 3 to 4 meals a day. That should be pretty easy. People automatically ask for snacks. So this is my answer, no snacks whatsoever. If you're eating a little amount of food across the day, you're keeping your hunger level high. What actually this strategy of eating more often rather than having a bigger meals a day are ideal for bulking. So if you are trying to put on weight, I want to spread my meals to as many little meals to boost my digestion so I never feel too full across the day. But since we're trying to lose body fat, trying to look a little bit better and be fitter, instead of having snacks in between a meal, we want to gather all the snacks into one big meal anywhere across the day. So that's why we go either 3 or 4 proper meals a day. No more snacks, guys. So this plan won't be based on calorie counting or macronutrients counting. It all be based on portion size. If you're used to calories and macros, that's totally fine. That's something I can set up for you. I'll need just few basic information. So if you want me to set a calorie target for you, just drop me a quick message and that should be an issue. Otherwise, I will highly recommend you to stick to the portion size. As the portion size and hopefully this structure eating will change your life forever, the way you look at food. Remember, the main idea of the structure is to make you healthier and as healthy as possible. By controlling the total amount of food you eat, we can dictate if you're going to put on weight or lose weight. Even if I'll be trying to gain weight, I'll still use the structure, but I'll just eat more food. Yeah, which hopefully that will put me on a healthier side of eating. Good. So 3 to 4 meals a day, 2 to 3 liters of water, if possible. If you're not a big water drinker, what I would suggest you is maybe scoop a little bit of BCAAs, which are branched chain amino acids with a little bit of flavoring to make it much tastier. It will be definitely easier to drink water. All we can do is just apply a little strategy, which is drink 250 mils before your meal and after a meal, which is easy, very half a liter around each meal. So give you a total of 3 liters, just like that. Otherwise, I'm sure people will be asking about no zero calorie. I think it's ribenas, which are also okay. Just please don't go crazy on it. So next one, start every day with a glass of water with juice from the freshly squeezed lemon or and a pinch of Himalayan salt. It doesn't have to be Himalayan salt. Right now, currently, I'm actually using more Celtic salt. Quite people was going to ask, what's the whole deal about the salt? The salt is here in your water in the morning to actually make you more hydrated. When you drink the water, which is filtered or from the tap, it lacks the minerals, which help you to deliver the water into your cell. Otherwise, you're just watering, you're just diluting the blood. The water without the presence of minerals cannot be absorbed. So we're adding a little bit of salt for the mineral content, so it can be absorbed more effectively. And as a result of it, you won't get dehydrated as quickly. The lemon helps and aids the digestion. So this is the reason behind all this madness. And believe me, as soon as you're gonna start adding, excuse me, as soon as you're gonna start adding a pinch of salt to your water, you'll notice a significant difference in taste. And before you're gonna go crazy on salt, please, it's not a teaspoon, it's literally a little pinch, which you should scatter inside of the glass. So you shouldn't really taste of salt. It's more like a mineralization. Well, I'm sure I didn't say that wrong, but you understand what I'm trying to say. Good. After you're having your glass of water with lemon and salt, the way you're going to prepare your breakfast, you want to have half of the plate covered with vegetables. Controversial topic. I know not many people like veggies with their breakfast, but which I will be slightly more flexible regarding that based on previous years. So if you're not big veggie eater to start with, that will be probably too hard for you. If you're already eating veggies, I highly recommend you to have maybe a handful of spinach there with a little bit balsamic vinegar. What the vegetables will do will just bring up the fiber content, which is going to make you feel fuller for longer. If the vegetables are no problem for lunch and dinner, this you are already winner. Just make sure the vegetables are covering the half of the plate. We want vegetables to mainly build around cruciferous group of vegetables. What the cruciferous groups is, at the end of the manual, you got the vegetable sector, and it's divided to your cruciferous group and colorful vegetables. So what we're trying to do is make a half of the plate. So 1/4 of the plate will be cruciferous, and other quarter will be colorful, like for example, I don't know, tomatoes, cucumbers. I know they're technically not vegetables, they're fruits, but still, I like to add tomatoes and cucumbers to my veggies, or like red peppers, etc. Yeah, so we go cruciferous or leafy salads, and then we bump them up with some flavor. And before you're gonna start screaming at me, I know the breakfast is controversial. So if you're not happy about it, that's totally fine. I get it. I highly recommend it as it's gonna make a difference to how full you feel across the day. Good. As the vegetable chat is over, let's move on. Next part of your meal will be a protein, a high quality protein, ideally like meat, eggs, or yogurt. We're gonna get more into detail of it later on. Ideally, handful of nuts. There will be no fat before your. Oh, I got a message. I'm gonna leave that. If you got any questions, remember, leave them in the group. The fat, the only rule for a fat, as you can see, is nothing before, nothing after the meal, in a meal after your training, as your fats will be replaced with the carbohydrates. So for carbohydrates, I did keep them low, limit only to the fruit before your training. Ideally, no cheat meals through the 6 weeks, but if you want to go out or you've got any party or occasion that you have to attend to, that's totally fine. We can always find a strategy, which I'm happy to share with you if there's going to be a need. So if you got anything happening with the next 6 weeks where you think you might have to step away from the plan, don't go bonkers. Let's pre-plan. Let's make sure we're gonna avoid or minimize the damage so you can still get the best results as possible. No alcohol. I know already quite a lot of people are gonna ask me and try to hang me for that. So I grew soft over the years. So if you're gonna have 1 or 2 glasses of red wine over the weekend, that shouldn't really be a big deal. But minimizing the alcohol consumption will be definitely needed, especially if you're drinking more than a bottle over a weekend. So to flavor your food, we definitely want to add some herbs and spices. I'm a big fan of sauces and pastes. So for each meal, if you're making like broccoli, chicken, and with the fruit, and nuts, what you would add is maybe 2 tablespoons of teriyaki sauce, or maybe ketchup, or maybe kama sauce, and any other curry sauce you really prefer to add a little bit of flavor to your meat. Or if you're cooking a fish, I'm a big fan of putting some paste over it before I bake it. I hope it all makes sense, guys. If I'm going too fast, don't worry. You'll be able to stop at any point and rewatch it. You've got your manuals, which should basically make sense. Fasting, that's something that I would recommend, but if you don't like it and you don't want to do it, don't feel pushed. With the fasting, there is a certain benefit to it. It's highly popular. What I'm promoting is a self version of fasting, which are the majority of the fast is done overnight. So the simple rule is 2 to 3 hours before you go to sleep, or you should fast basically 2 to 3 hours after your last meal, which is, believe or not, the hardest part of majority of our evenings, is not putting anything else to your mouth after your dinner. This is also the time where we are snacking the most, and automatically by restraining yourself from snacking, we're cutting quite a lot unnecessary calories, because let's be honest, you don't really need quite a lot of food before you go to sleep. The stomach should be empty before you go to sleep, in order to let your body start recovering and removing all the toxins which have been built up in the body, and also detoxes your liver. There's quite a lot of hype regarding the detoxing, and the best detox is done naturally by your liver through the night. So please don't overstimulate or overload your body with unnecessary digestion by eating extra snacks before you go to sleep. Good. We're gonna fast majority through the night, unless you tend to wake up and have a snacks through the night, which obviously I wouldn't be recommending. So no eating through sleep, then you're waking up. Not many of us are big breakfast lovers anyway. Probably apart from me, I love the breakfast. So you should really have an ease to delay your breakfast for 2 to 3 hours. So if you're gonna wake up, let's say at 7, it will be probably at 10 o'clock by the time you're gonna have your first meal. If you're training in the morning, you could go basically fasted to the gym, do your weights, and after training, protein shake, and then followed by your breakfast. Guys, the biggest problem with the fasting, if you've done in the past, if you heard anybody else doing, the number one mistake is the fasting means no calories. Okay, there are 2 different versions of the fast, but no calorie rule means basically the only thing that you're allowed to have is water, obviously unflavored water ideally, and coffee. Okay, as long as that gonna keep you going till the 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, my happy days. At night might be slightly harder, so the tea will definitely be a good idea. But like I said, we're going for slightly softer approach. So what I would say, guys, if you're really craving, I don't know, sugar, or you're really hungry, go for those BCAs or the Ribena for a little bit flavoring, which in theory shouldn't really break your fast, but it's gonna definitely be a big help in order to make you extend those hours without the food. Good stuff. Enough of fasting. Let's move on, guys. Good. So the structure, the most important part of our plan. As I said, each meal has to be built of protein, vegetables, fats, and fruit. The fruit will be present in every single meal. As I mentioned before, the only difference will be a post-workout meal when we're swapping fat for carbohydrate. Now, the post-workout meal doesn't have to be the last meal of the day, as it's presented in the example. The post-workout meal means, as it says, after workout. So if you're training in the morning, the post-workout meal will be in the morning. So your breakfast gonna have like a toast for you, if you like the toast for your breakfast. Ideally, look for a good quality bread like a rye bread or a sourdough. You can go, I don't know, for porridge. Quite a lot of people love porridge or overnight oats, which will be also acceptable. Apart from that, even if you train in the morning and you don't want to have your carbohydrates in the morning, you'll be allowed to move them to the night time. So the two best times to have carbs are either after training or as evening. Carbohydrates are basically calming agent. I'm sure you saw, and it probably happened to you, whenever you ate a big bowl of pasta, the first of the signs which you could feel is that you want to go to bed to have a nap because you overate. And that's what carbohydrates do. They're calming down the body and the stressors. To basically make you much more calmer. And also, as a result of it, you can use this to your advantage for a better sleep. So if you're not a big fan of having carbohydrates in the morning or after training, and you prefer to have carbohydrates at night because you like to share the big meal with your family, it will be easier for cooking purposes, have your carbs at night. And I know somebody asking about pasta. So to answer your question, pasta is allowed, but with a little question mark. So it all comes down to how do you feel after pasta. If you're gonna have spaghetti or any noodles and you feel that you're a little bit bloated afterwards, then I'll probably swap your wheat pasta for rice noodles for at least a couple weeks and then reintroduce your wheat pasta again, because there might be a slight chance the actual wheat makes you feel bloated, which causes the stomach distress, and it won't really reflect the proper progress which you will be making across 6 weeks. Guys, wherever you're gonna eat food and you're gonna feel that you're getting bloated, take a note of it as probably one of the ingredients or one of the parts of the meal that you've had caused that bloatation. And bloatation will slow it down, the digestion, and will slow down the recovery of the body, which is gonna have the reaction chain in how quickly you progress or how quickly you lose your fat loss. So in structure, we got protein, 125 grams of any meat, and I mean any meat, all the meats are allowed, or 3 eggs, or 300 to 400 grams of skyr yogurt. Quite a lot of people buy those little tubs. I will tell you, have the big tub, the full tub. It says 300 to 400, but I should really change it to 450 as the skyr yogurts, really they changed the tubs and they made them slightly bigger. In Lidl, I think last year you could buy 350 grams tubs and the 400 grams tubs. Now they're slightly bigger. Unless you buy in Costco, you can buy the whole liter and then you have to portion it. All right, so if you like the yogurt, ideally skyr. The only reason why skyr, because it's slightly higher protein and doesn't have really much fat or carbohydrates comparing to other brands, so it's easy to allocate it to the protein group. Apart from that, we got cottage cheese or 1 scoop of protein powder. If you like to have a protein shake or a quick breakfast in the morning, or maybe you're not a big breakfast person or you drive the majority of the morning, the scoop of protein powder with maybe some nuts and fruit on the side will also do a great job. Good. As we said, half of the plate of the vegetables, super controversial for breakfast, but should be super easy for the rest of the meals, which are your lunch and dinner. Then you want to follow that with a handful of fats and any fruit. Guys, any really fats you like, could be a cheese. I know the cheese is not on the list, but the cheese is also allowed, but please run the cheese through me. What I mean by cheese, ideally the hard cheese, okay? So the quality is gonna play a quite important role here. The better the quality of cheese, the better for you, and the easier going to be digested. The fruit, there won't be really much restriction about how much fruit you eat. As long as it fits to your hand, you probably will be allowed. Good stuff. So structure done. After structure, we're moving to some examples. Pre-planning example, I'm gonna get into the proper file. For example, also I'm gonna send some examples on our Facebook group, how to fill them, to help you out, guys. Pre-planning stage is probably one of the most important stages, just to make sure you understand the plan and we understand each other. So as you can see on the left, you've got 4 meals. Meal 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to help you to pre-plan your day, maybe pre-plan 2 to 3 days if you like to cook in advance. So meal 1, protein choice will be scrambled eggs, then veggies, then fats, then fruits. Meal 2, we've got cod, broccoli, walnuts, pears. So, and then meal 3, which for me, as this is really the example of what I would eat, will be my equivalent to the snack, but all the snacks are gathered into the one. So we got good quality protein, which is a protein powder, then carrot sticks, because I love to nibble, the peanut butter, and apple. And the last one, the meal number 4, will be equivalent of my dinner meal with the family. So beef mince, cauliflower, rice, strawberries, white potato, and 2 tablespoons of chili sauce, because I love chili. Okay, guys. So each week you'll be expected to actually present this as an example. Can be for 1, 2, 3, or as many days as you like for a good exercise. So I can quickly have a glance over to make sure you're filling them right properly, that you understand what the protein is, that you understand what vegetables you're required to eat, fats and fruit. And if I see something that's not right, I'll be able to help you and to guide you and direct you that you're going in the right way for the best results. Good example. So the example 1 is basically what you're seeing in a pre-planning stage. It just presented slightly different with the more notes. So you got the protein types, veggies, fats, and fruit choices, and I just let them to the side for clearer view. In meal 2, I added 2 tablespoons of the sauce. As you know, you can add any. I choose the paste, which will be the red pesto, which I like to bake my cod with. So before you're gonna say that the food doesn't have much flavor, you're in control how much flavor you're gonna add to it. If you like to make a stir fry, you're totally fine with it. If you like to use stir fry sauces, you're totally allowed. If you like mayo, I don't know, if you like ketchup, if you like mustard, or any other curry sauces, you're more than welcome to use it. What I'm trying to apply is a control of how much sauce lands on your meal to make sure it's only for flavoring, not for drinking unnecessary calories. Good. Example 1, example 2 is just an additional meal plan with different choices, which you can glance through. You can also see the other choices of sauces, how they were added to the meals. I will be also posting some recipes, guys, to give you a better idea of what can be done. I'll be posting the food pictures, also to give you a better examples how the food can be presented, how tasty and colorful it can be. At the end of the package, you can see you've got food list, as in lean proteins. And guys, if there is something not listed that you would normally eat, but it's still a meat, you're probably allowed. So I can see I was quite generic. I listed mainly foods that I like, that I would eat, but obviously I can't really meet everybody's taste. So if you can see something that you like, just please ask the questions, and 9 out of 10, I would say, yeah, go for it. Good. Food list, vegetables. This is what I was talking about. Cruciferous and dark greens are the vegetables which should be building majority of your plate. And on the right, you got other vegetables plus colorful vegetables. Food list for your fats, like you say, any seeds, any nuts, any nut butters. Ideal oils for cooking will be coconut oil or avocado oil. Olive oil is only good for salads. And other nut oil is good only for salads. Please don't put it under the heat treatment, which means don't put them on the pan, as the structure of any nut oil is not stable enough and cannot take any high temperatures, so actually start causing more harm than good. Good. Carbohydrates list. Awesome. I'm sure you're gonna have quite a lot of questions regarding carbohydrates. So this is probably the only food group that wants you to be slightly more peculiar regarding the weighting. But the way you want to weight your food, you want to do it once. You want to use the cup measuring system, or maybe a bowls, or maybe your handful. So like for the potatoes, put it on a scale once just to have a rough idea how 100 grams looks like, or maybe lentils or rice. I want you to measure it once so you got a mental picture of how much in volume it is, and then ditch the scale. Do it only once and then eyeball it. You know, everyone, if you want to, and you're quite honest to whatever you put on the plate, you'll be actually pretty good in judging if the meal or amount of food that you're eating is good for you, is good for your goals, or are you actually trying, to cheat a little bit? At the end of the day, I would love you guys to post every single uh, every single meal that you're planning to eat, or maybe you've had already in the past, into the our group, so it's easier to give you a feedback if again, if you're doing well, or maybe you require certain changes. Okay, so we got this one done. Let's move to the next one, which will be slightly about your what are we? Here we go. So this one. So we got the starter bootcamp. So this is your starter pack. In the starter pack, we got something which is called perfect check-in. Guys, for the best results, I'll need your check-in. Okay. In a check-in, first of all, the check-in is not shared to the group. It's something that you're gonna send it personally to me, so only my eyes will see it. Okay. The check-in is the only way for me to actually make unnecessary changes to your eating. If you're gonna let me to see what you eat through obviously the food pictures, which you're gonna post to the group, to basically make necessary changes to the amount of food you're eating and the type of food you're eating in order for you to keep progressing. In order to make a check-in perfect, I'll definitely need the photo of you of day one, which I hope you're gonna take tomorrow in the morning, and Saturday morning. I need a picture of your front, I need a picture of your side, and a picture of your back. Regarding your clothing, ideally keep the sport bra on and sport shorts, or the leggings should be okay. If you're gonna use the leggings, make sure you're gonna pull them down over your hips. Or let's go that way. You need to expose the places where you want to see the most improvement. So if you're gonna see improvement in your stomach and your hips, I need to actually see your stomach and the hips in order to justify it if we're moving in the right direction and you're improving. If you're body shy and not necessarily want to show yourself to me, what I will suggest you put the clothing which is quite comfortable right now, and within 6 weeks, hopefully, after putting the same clothing, you feel some changes regarding the jean size, maybe the belt size, maybe the belt hole, or maybe the top, which was quite fitting all right, now will be super loose. It's another way of kind of justifying the progress, not the best. Can be very compared to sending the proper pictures, but it will also, be something. Apart from the pictures, we got 3 indicators for progress. We need also the measurements and weight. The measurements, we're gonna need your hips. The hips, roughly the hip bones. The waist, you can go for your real waist or for belly button. Okay, so hips will be the hip bones, and the waist will be the belly button or the real waist. You can take both measurements if you wish to. What I need you to always focus on, where do you exactly take your measurement? So if you're gonna decide to do it yourself, or you're gonna have your partner to do it for you, make sure you're standing in front of the mirror. Make sure the measuring tape is in the perfect line. It doesn't slip, it doesn't move. Checking your measurements, correctly on the week-to-week basis can have a quite significant outcome on what changes we might have to do regarding your eating and your plan. The tie, ideally only right side. Again, pick roughly the halfway through the tie, or just underneath your bum cheek, or just underneath your bum cheek will be probably the biggest part of your thigh, or right in the middle, as the middle is the easiest way to find. If you're gonna do it in front of the mirror, it should make slightly, just a touch easier in order to finding the right position. Then arm, also the right, the peak of your bicep and the chest Whatever you're gonna take a chest size, which sometimes is quite uncomfortable for females. So if you're from the comfort of your home, ideally make sure your chest is bare when you're gonna stand across the mirror. This part will be the most important, as this is probably the most chunky part of any of the bodies. So you're gonna go from here in a straight line across your chest. Okay, so you're gonna put the measuring tape behind you. You're gonna take it in front of you. You're gonna check in the mirror if it's covering the farthest point underneath your armpits, and then measure it in order to give you the accurate number. Obviously, for males, it'll be slightly easier. If you decide to do it in a bra or in a sport bra, just make sure you're always wearing the same bra. Okay, but it will be still probably 1 to 3 centimeters plus minus if you're doing it right. So depending on your comfort, if you're by yourself at home, or if you got running kids around, or you've got, I don't know, roommates, then I understand you will have to probably put some clothing on. Good. So 3 indicators to justify if you're doing well are your photos, so the visual change, because even if the weight is not going down but your body's improving, this is for me a clear thumb up that you're doing well, and we can ignore the weight because you're probably storing more water. The weight, ideally check it in the morning. If you got scale in the house, that's fantastic. I want you to check your weight only once. If you check it every day, ideally ditch it, because it's gonna drive too much of an emotional effect. Otherwise, if there's no emotional attachment to the scale, checking it every day can actually give you quite interesting info of your water fluctuation. If you're a female, you're always gonna put a little bit more water. Your body gonna start gathering slightly more water pre your cycle, and you're gonna start dropping the water after your cycle. So if you check it every day, you can actually justify and see how much water the body starts pre and how much water you get rid of after. Even if you don't go through the cycle because you're taking pills or whatever other reason, the body will still gain the water and drop the water as it would normally do. Otherwise, check once a week, and as long across the 6 weeks we see the trend going down. It can go with little bumps up and there, but as long as it goes from week 1 to week 6 all the way down, which I guarantee you it will, if you're gonna do everything right, we're definitely going to be happy, and I will be happy as long as you're happy. So 3 indicators: photos, weight, measurements, weekly. And don't be shy. The photos are absolutely golden. There's nothing better from the day 1 and the end of the 6 weeks when you can put it one against the other and give yourself a little tap to the back for awesome achievement. Okay. Apart from that, few different questions. The question number 1 will be, how well did you follow your plan? Obviously, that will be regarding the food. Did you have any cheat meals? Did you stick to 3 meals? Did you stick to 4 meals? How would you score yourself from 1 to 7? 1, it's a 1 perfect day, and 7, it's absolutely smashed it every single day. Adrian, I'm at the top of the mountain, and I will give you a big high five. What's your current number of meals? So it will be between 3 to 4. Maybe you've cut it right down to 2 because you prefer to have only 2 big meals, which is totally fine with me. If you're having a 5, then we're having a little issue and we need to cut it right down. But this is important information which I want you to put down. What's your current number of protein servings? So the number will dictate the number of meals you're having. So if you're having 3 meals a day, you should have 3 protein servings. Yeah. If you had 3 meals and you're gonna put only 2 protein servings, then we have a problem, as the protein should be present in every single meal. What's your current number of fat servings? So we're gonna go by the handfuls and follow the manual, how many fat servings you're allowed, because the males and females are gonna have slightly different numbers. What's your current number of fruit? As you know, you're allowed to have a fruit with every single meal. So if you're having 3 meals, you should have 3. And then last question of how many carbs you should have per day should be number 1 at the moment. Why this question is here, because if you're already lean and you want to get a little bit leaner, you're allowed more carbs, and then actually carbs will help you to get leaner. You have to get to a certain stage of leanness in order to start bumping up in carbs in order for them to play into your advantage. Otherwise, the carbs will just make you more bloaty or more bulky, which I'm sure this is not necessarily what you want. So how much water did you drink? As you know, ideally you can justify it by glasses. If the glass got 250 mils, you can just say 10 glasses times 250. If you're drinking, I don't know, a sport bottles, you can give me a number of sport bottles and we can make a quick math. And if you're 100% sure that you'll be drinking 1 to 2 to maybe 3 years, give a little number there. Your average daily step of daily number of your steps, quite important. A number, if you see that your number is going down from week to week, or you go 1 week super high step count and other week super low, that can also affect your results following week. Quite a lot of people undervaluing the step count, where the steps across the week can play a significant role in total amount of calories that you burn. So as you know, I'll be promoting 10,000 steps, which is kind of, fairly popular. 10,000 is not a magical number. It's a number which is achievable and which is repeatable. So if you can repeat it every day, then it's a high five. If you can only do 6,000 to 7,000, I want you to stick to that number. And if you can maybe bump it up over the weekend, that's fantastic. But we want this number to go up across the weeks, definitely not go down across the weeks. So whatever number you pick, make sure it's achievable and you can maintain it. And if you can maybe put a little bit extra walk-in sessions across the 6 weeks, try to bump up that number, as it will definitely benefit you in your journey. And how well you slept. Guys, the bad sleeping habits or poor sleeping can 100% affect your fat loss. I will talk about it across our 6 weeks. I'll do like a little videos. I think I'll do little videos. I haven't decided, or maybe a little presentation touching a little bit on the subject, as sleep can affect 100% your fat loss. If you're sleeping 3 hours comparing to the 8 hours, your fat loss process will be 3 times harder, unfortunately. And even if you're in a calorie deficit, body might put on fat, as sleeping not enough can put quite a high stress on the body, and body, whatever is stressed, is more tend to actually put on body fat. Lovely. Where are we? Good. Perfect check-in example. As you can see, this handsome man, day 1 photos, front, side, back, and then we got end of the week photos, front, side, back. So what I'll be looking for changes are across your waist, across your weights, across your waist, across your hips. Whenever you're on the side, I will look how bloated you are. Is the stomach actually getting flatter? On the back, I will also look changes across your hips and across your upper back. So whenever we're gonna get to week 2, you still want to put your day 1 photos and then end of the week 2. In week 3, day 1 photos against end of the week 3, and so on. Please don't send it to me week 2 against week 3, week 3 against the week 4. And so you're always going to put the day 1, as we want to check how dramatic the change is becoming across the weeks. And if I need to, I can always scroll back to whatever week I require for justification. But whatever you're going to send me a check-in, please send it always day 1 against the completed week. And then you've got examples of the numbers which I would put in to make sure I'm happy with my check-in. Good. Next one, we got the progression plan. So as you can see, in week 1, you go workout 1 for day 1, which we're going to classify day 1 as a Monday. So we're going to have a Monday, workout 1, Tuesday, workout 2, then day 3, it looks like it's a rest day. Thursday, workout 1. Friday, we got day 5, we got couple stars, which will be basically additional extra cardio session, which will be, I encourage you to do it, but you don't have to, depending on your schedule. And the Saturday, we've got bootcamp. If you guys are already active on the rest days or the days which I haven't listed, and you will keep them going, that's fantastic. Just make sure you never drop them. So whatever you do from week 1, we only want to pile it up and do more across the weeks. So our progression plan should be like a stepping stone, like a stepping ladder. We shouldn't really step down. We want to always step it up with the intensity and with the amount of calories that we burn, so we can always progress from week to week. Guys, if you see, the progression plan is more as a guide. If the day 1 Monday is not good for you to perform your workout 1, then you can shift all the workouts by day or adjust it to your schedule. As long as you do your free weight sessions and there's a maximum 2 workouts in a row, the strength training in a row, you should be fine. Otherwise, I don't really mind you on what days you do. For me, you can exercise even on a Sunday after your boot camp if necessary to fit all your sessions. In order to overload your program, you always want to use the heaviest weight you can lift, or at least lift close to your failure on a weekly basis. Try to add 1 to 2 reps to do each exercise if you're not really confident with lifting heavier each week. Don't worry, guys, regarding the progression plus, on a weekly basis, I'll be posting a little reminders of what you're supposed to do and what's the additional cardio challenge for you to do as well. Good stuff. This is done. Oh, we're going like a fire. Whew. Good, guys. 2 seconds. And what do I have here that I need to show you? I've got supplements. You definitely got a PDF with the supplements. Though those little white links should take you to the product online. If some of the links doesn't work, please let me know. I've checked them all, I think 2 weeks ago when I was preparing this. It was all fine. If some of them stopped working, which is highly possible, as my pro is changing their links constantly, I can always update this. So first of all, don't feel pushed to take any of the supplements. Supplements are only a recommendations, it's not a necessity. I'll be definitely putting a pressure on 2, which you should definitely consider taking for the health benefit, which will be the omega-3 fish oil. Even if you're eating meat and that meat contains omega-3, it's still not enough for what your body requires. Some people take only 1 pill, which is 1 gram. I'll tell you guys to take 5, and there is a strength conditioning coach which unfortunately passed away not 2 years ago, and he will recommend to his athletes to take the number of grams of fish oil which is equal to body fat that they carry. So if I'm 12% body fat, he will tell me to take 12 grams of omega-3 fish oil in order to bring the balance between omega-3, 6, and 9, which quite a lot of people find it absolutely unnecessary. But let's be honest, his athletes were the best performing athletes in the world. So if I'm going to ask you to take between 1 and 5 grams a day, I think this is not really a crazy ask, and it will only benefit you in the long run. Omega-3, perfect for your brain, and perfect for, like I said, for bringing the balance between omega-3, 6, and 9. Omega-3 is an essential fatty acid which body cannot produce itself. It's only possible to take it from supplements or from the meat, as the meat is really not the best quality as it used to be, unless you buy that grass-fed steak, the wild-caught salmon and other fish, then it's actually quite hard to be taken from food alone. Next one will be the multivitamin and minerals. To be honest, there's a link for the one which I would recommend, but if you're already taking your multivitamin and mineral, just send me a quick link or maybe a screenshot of what you're taking so I can have a quick glance and I'll tell you if it's okay or not, or if you should think about maybe adding something extra to it. Definitely a few things which I'll be looking for. It's magnesium, zinc, iron, calcium, and then a basics of vitamin D, just to make sure you've got sufficient amount for the best feeling. Good. The protein shake, whey, egg white, or plant-based, depending on your food intolerance. If you're not really good with whey, then you can swap it to the egg whites. And the egg whites are not working well, then you can move to the plant-based. Or if you don't want to really use any protein shakes, that's totally fine with me. You could probably eat more meat. Oh, that's a one. Let's see. Let's see what else do we have there. Good example. It's basically a different format of what we spoke about in our food structure. So guys, the food planner is something what you should have also in your pack. So this is exactly how you're supposed to put your food pre-plan. But what I need you to do is just put your choices for your protein, vegetables, and fruit. If you want to follow the food plan as I presented, that's totally fine. But remember, there's no magic recipe or any magic reason why I chose those food which are in a food structure. They're basically my favorite food pigs, and I want you to use your favorite food pigs because if you're gonna eat the food that you like, it will be easier, much easier to stick to it. And then the last one, the last file which I've attached is basically more examples across the day, across the week, so you can pick it as many as you like. Good guys. I'm sure you're gonna have plenty of questions. I know I talk fast, which is totally which is totally normal for me whenever I get nervous. So if you've got any questions or if you don't want to ask them in the group, then drop me a quick message and I'll be more than happy to talk to you in private. If you had any problems regarding with the feed, I'll be more than happy to repeat it. Okay, guys? Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. I just see your messages. There's a presentation got stuck on the food list. I hope it moved since then and you got everything. If not, I'll be happy to go back and talk about whatever we missed again. Otherwise, I'll leave you here now. And like I said, if you got any questions, leave them in our Facebook group. That was fun as always. And we did it in only 45 minutes. Okie dokie. Let me just quickly go also to Facebook just to see where we are there. Okay, guys, I'll be live in Facebook for a little while. So if you got any questions that you want to ask there, then ask. If you got any questions that you want to ask me privately, then use WhatsApp. I will be more than happy to answer all. Remember, tomorrow is our first bootcamp class and half one at the car park and ride in Kingswells. Remember to take the gloves if you got the gym gloves, as the surface is harsh, as we got the dumbbells, which are fairly cold. We've got a slam ball. Yeah, make sure you got the good. Make sure you got good footwear. Make sure you got good trainers. It's a car park at the end of the day, so please wear the footwear which is gonna reduce any slipping and slipping accidents. So teas and coffees are totally allowed on the plan. Ideally, just don't add any sweetener or honey. The herbal teas are definitely better than any dark teas. But remember, dark teas are also allowed if you prefer them. Whatever's gonna get your fluid in, go for it. Not that picky. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So whey protein powders, not only after workouts, you can really have them at any meal. It goes under the protein category. So if you like to have your protein shake as one of the meals, that's 100% fine. Just make sure you follow with a handful of nuts and ideally a piece of fruit. If you like a smoothie, I'll suggest you blend it all in together. Yeah. So protein powder, definitely my best friend for a quick meals. So that won't be an issue to use it. Any type of protein powders. So it comes down to your preference. I definitely like whey. Whey concentrate will be the cheapest. Whey, so there's a few different types. There is a concentrate, isolate, and hydrolyze. There are 3 different stages of removing the carbohydrates and fats from the milk. So the first step is a concentration process, where it removes partially the carbohydrates and fats, and from there we're moving up to the isolation, where we're isolating the carbohydrate isotopes to make the shake even leaner. So we are removing almost 90, I think it's like 6% of carbohydrates and fats, and the process, which is called hydrolyzation, clears it completely all, leaving just a pure protein. To be honest, the isolate proteins and the hydrolyze are super inflated in price. So please, it's not like you have to stay away from them. You can still buy them if you wish to, but concentrate are much cheaper and it will be as good. I think scoop of whey concentrate is like 125 calories, and an isolate is maybe 100 calories. I know the calories doesn't mean anything to you, but just as a perspective, it won't really make much of a difference. So go, what cheaper comparing to spending unnecessary money. Good, guys, I gotta go. If you got any more questions, please ask them. Please make sure everything is super clear, especially regarding the food. Like I said, the most important part in order to be successful with all of this, it's pre-planning your food, being ready on what you're going to eat on the next meal. Don't just wing it, because winging your food will never work. You will always find yourself hungry and eating more than you're supposed to, or unnecessarily snacking in between the meals. And snacking, it's a killer of your potential results. Okie dokie. I can't wait to see you all tomorrow. You don't have to be super sharp. We're gonna probably warm up, chat a little bit to start with. So even if you're late, you'll be still welcome with the open hands. Yeah, look forward to see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.